When I look back on it, I wouldn't have traded a second of it for nothing. It was great.
My dad played for them, my sons have played for them, I played for them.
Well, I originally started off as a fan with the Northstars from '67, and then I became part of them.
In 1970, and then of course I was just a rookie on the executive at that time. Owen Sound was just in the building stages coming out of intermediate lacrosse. It took us another 5 or 6 years before we got to the highest senior level.
When they used to play at the old arena, it was just great. You know, they used to pack them in there.
I remember watching Gary in his old white Brian helmet. As a goalie coming up at Minor Lacrosse, I really wanted to be Gary Palace. I remember when I got my first white Brian helmet, it was, oh, this is so awesome. You felt like Gary, you looked like your idol.
At the old arena, going to the games when I was probably 7 or 8 years old, probably watching the seniors play back in the day with likes of Rick Bazan.
Rick Bazan coached us in minor, and he played for the team then, and it was pretty cool to have your coach be one of the dominant stars.
Stewie Ayer, Dave Cruikshank, Mark Kazarian. Watching them back then, when I was 8 years old, I wanted to be on that team.
Really looking at pictures and coming down to the rink to watch my Uncle Mark and my Uncle Pete. From early on, it was always something that we did. We came down to the rink, kind of stay up late, and we'd run around on the floor after the game.
I was young when the Woodsman started. So senior lacrosse in Owen Sound was a big part of my life.
Well, back when they played against the majors, you're playing against Peterborough, Brooklyn, and Brampton and them places. There wasn't enough talent right here to make a team, so team players had to come in, which we had some great guys come in and play for us. Oh, yeah.
Lots of them have came from out of town to play here, have stayed here to live.
I can think of so many of those guys that end up making this their home for so long. Just a couple of names. I know Mike McMillan stayed here for a long time after he was done playing. Willie Arnold.
My rookie year, coming to town and finding how great a town this was, which is why I came for a summer, and I'm still here.
The biggest one for me is watching a guy Mark Kazarian play. He was my first coach, and I remember watching him play as a mean defender. We could do everything.
I played for the Northstars for 14 years, won 4 Canadian championships.
There's one guy that stands out head and shoulders above everyone else, and that's Jamie Wilman.
Davey Cruikshank, probably my favorite player. He made it look so easy. He could shoot from 30 feet out, put it in the corner.
Also hearing about my grandpa Harry Kazarian, those stick out in my mind.
As the older I got, Jeff Tate really became the sort of the folk hero, or the guy that was like awesome. Like he was almost, it was like meeting a pro athlete every time you saw Tater, and he always made time for you and knew your name.
Getting to play with my brother Matt, my cousin Adam Jones, and we got great coaches, and like Ian McGough, who took us to the 2 Presidents Cups that I talked about, and he's since passed, but he was such a big part of those teams.
Well, probably the best memories without question is the 1979 finally winning the President's Cup, right? But we went down and won it in Acton.
When I came with the team in '84, Fergus put us out in the finals, I think 4 years in a row. And then in '89, we went to Nanaimo in the finals, I think in the Cup in Nanaimo. But what was even better is when we put Fergus out there, we got the right to go to Nanaimo.
I was fortunate in 1991. I was 18 years old. I was called up to go to the President's Cup in Edmonton. We won it out there.
Every time you win a championship, it costs a lot of money to be involved to do that because they're never close to home. We only my career, I think we won the championship once in Owen Sound. When you have to travel a long ways away and it takes a lot of money and it drains the organization for the next year and the year after, so it's the executive work hard to keep it going.
They went through a dry spell right before they finished the first time, so that was always tough to see them. But things have turned around a lot since they came back as Woodsman and now back as the Northstars name, so it's always nice to see.
One of the problems that lacrosse teams have in the spring and early summer is that they're always competing with the Stanley Cup playoffs and the Jays, right? So we decided to resurrect a senior lacrosse team in Owen Sound in the year 2000, and we decided to call it the Owen Sound Woodsman lacrosse team. People kind of who were the force behind it were myself, Mark Berner, Butch McNabb.
That first year, pretty much everybody, except for maybe a couple guys, were from Owen Sound. We're all buddies. We all hadn't played in a couple years, and we ended up winning the All A's that year and going to the President's Cup. Things like that it was so tight knit, and it was made for a really fun year. We're fortunate enough to play on 2 President's Cup winning teams with the Woodsmen back in the 2000s.
The biggest high point was when we won the President's Cup in 2007, 2008.
So that was the first championship for senior lacrosse Owen Sound for quite a while.
Ken, we won it for you. I says to us, it's about time.
Mark Berner was the GM at the time, GM, president, major sponsor, and he put his heart and soul into this, and then it was to finally see that all that hard work pay off was truly amazing. The things that he did for this club will always be remembered.
And that team ran until the year, about 2012 is when they changed it back to the old Northstar lacrosse team.
And then when the player turnover started, and we lost a lot of the out of town guys, and we didn't have a lot of the sponsors back. That was probably the lowest time that I can think of. You show up to games with barely enough runners, and give Randy Jackson credit because he stepped up and kept things afloat for 1-2 years, and then he was always part of it, but that's kind of thrown into the GM role. The current president, Adam McKechnie's, has done a great job to get more sponsors on board. Kind of probably like a younger feel to the team.
The guys that look after the team, your Mike McLeod and your executives and our head coach Stu and them, they work hard to, like after a night like this, they'll try and go to Boston Pizza together as a group. So they try and do so many things together.
I think they're much stronger than right now than they were 5 or 6 years ago. And then I think they've got a better executive. And then, and again, they're doing their job in locating players from outside the area to fill the roster.
The team that no matter what happens for 60 minutes, they're going to give it their all. The harder the opponent you can become, and you want to be someone that no one wants to play.
The last couple of years have been awesome to see the team transitioning into a contender again. You're representing the jersey. You're playing for that end on the front.
They got good chemistry going, and everybody's happy with what goes on, and the organization is pretty solid, I think, right now. They've got good local sponsorship, and guys are excited about playing.
I think our team is really coming on. I think they're doing good. We'll be there at the end.
It's our main goal. I've been lucky enough to win 2 President's Cups. With my last cup was almost 8 years ago.
And all that work you put into it, right from the executive, sponsors, everybody, the players. Pretty special when you finally win it.
It means everything. That's why we are here. That's why we give up our free time from our family and whatnot just to win.
Personally, for me, it would mean everything. I've won at every level, except this. I was a member of the 03 team that missed out on a chance to win it. My playing days were done when they did succeed, so you sort of missed that train. So it would mean everything to win a President's Cup and to join your idol.
If you're winning, people come out and sell. But I think this year, and even last year, I think the support has been better.
We need local support. Without the support of the community, we wouldn't be here.
So I think it's just more awareness and getting kids out. Once they start to play, I find that they're always going to play. It's just getting them to that first year to get them hooked, and then once they're up, they're going to play for a long time.
With the Woodsmen, we were pretty popular back then. I think the Toronto Rock had a lot to do with it. They were showing the games on TV, which a lot of people didn't know.
We're doing a great job with the social media and all that stuff. I think we have gone to the right avenues to put it out there. Now we just need to have a winning product on the floor, and things should pick up.
The future's bright. There's a good chunk of our team that are under 25 years old, so that's definitely a positive move forward.
I found over the years one of the best ways to do that was, besides being a winning team, that always helps, getting local players involved, you know, and if you can get the local players come from development in minor lacrosse and junior lacrosse.
I think lacrosse is still good. You got the National Lacrosse League going, and we got local players playing in the National Lacrosse League right now in the championship. You know, Adam Jones.
It's just a sense of pride. You know, a lot of the young guys, we see it in our games. There's 20 or 30 kids running around the floor. I can remember being one of those kids back in Pee Wee lacrosse, right? It's just a sense that you see it come full circle now, being a little bit older and out here coaching, you get to see all the young kids coming out. So it's nice.
I had a blast playing in Sound, and so I think we're hopefully to keep playing. But
When you're from Owen Sound, you sort of take it for granted how great our community is.
Lacrosse is so big in this community, and I see from some bringing the players in from other centers, it's still still a great place to play. Playing here at the Bayshore, this is the best arena to play lacrosse in.
We're an organization that's always looking for support and help. And I mean, you know, I get that not everyone can donate money financially, but I mean, it's a good group to be around. So if giving your time and helping out the cause is what you can do, we're always looking for new people to join the executive and be a part of the North Stars.
There's not a day goes by I don't think about lacrosse. I wish I was still out there playing. Lacrosse has given me so much in life. My kid is 16 playing midget. Hopefully he wants to be a North Star. I want to be watching them. I'm hopefully watching my grandkids play someday.
50 years ago, what did those guys foresee and how did they see it going? And if we can do half of the job that those guys did to keep it going as long as they did, then I think we'll be leaving in pretty good hands. You know, over 50 years, there's been, I believe, 6 titles won in the organization. If we can leave it with 6 more in the next 50, that'd be